time we stop. Children, what's that sound? Everybody look what's going down.
Welcome everyone to Earth Changes News for June 16th, 2011. I have a few stories to get to, guys. I told you I would keep updating you more frequently, and that's exactly what I'm doing, because news is coming out much more frequently. The first story I have for you is dealing with the sun. It says NASA's Solar Dynamics Observatory detects superfast solar waves moving at 2,000 kilometers per second. Scientists using Atmospheric Imaging Assembly, or the AIA instrument, on board NASA's Solar Dynamics Observatory have detected quasi-periodic waves in the low solar corona that travel at speeds as high as 2,000 kilometers per hour, or 4.5 million miles per hour. These observations provide for the first time unambiguous evidence of propagating fast-mode magnetosonic waves at such high speeds in the sun's low atmosphere. So if you guys want to check that out, that's interesting if you're looking at the sun. The next story I have for you is a story on a lunar eclipse that has just happened. It says stargazers treated to a spectacular blood-red moon. Stargazers across the globe have been treated to a spectacular lunar eclipse, the longest in more than a decade, which turned the moon a blood-red color. So that's a story if you guys have one eye on the news and one eye on the Bible. The third story I have for you here is a strong earthquake has struck Papua New Guinea. Now this was a 6.6 quake. Happened today, I guess. A strong earthquake struck early Thursday off an island in the Pacific nation of Papua New Guinea. No tsunami warning was issued, but the shaking was felt hundreds of miles away. Now, I want to get to another story I saw here, dealing with also the sun. It says scientists prove existence of magnetic ropes that cause solar storms. It says George Mason, university scientist, discovered recently that a phenomenon called a giant magnetic rope is the cause of solar storms. Confirming the existence of this information in this formation is a key first step in helping to mitigate the adverse effect that solar storm eruptions can have on satellite communications on Earth. Now, there's another story here, flooding in Australia I have here. This was yesterday. It says heavy rains flood part of East Australia, 2,000 flee. Heavy rains has caused flooding in eastern Australia that has forced 2,000 people to leave their homes and isolated thousands of their residents. It says death toll also climbs as China rains persist. Torrential rains are still ravaging central and southern China, nearly 2 weeks after leaving at least 105 people dead and 65 missing, the state news agency Xinhua reported on Wednesday. Then we have a story here, the fifth storm to enter the Philippines territory on Thursday. This is out of Manila. This year's fifth storm may enter the Philippine area of responsibility on Thursday, the government's weather bureau said today. So they're having serious storms over there around the Philippines. I just want to get to all these stories, guys, so I'm going pretty quickly. If you guys want to look this up, and just go to earthchangestv.com and you can read every article. There's another story here put up yesterday. High winds tear off roof from apartment building and snap power poles in Norman. Hail pounds Oklahoma City. High winds tore the roof off an apartment building and snapped trees and power poles in Norman, and hail the size of tennis balls fell in Oklahoma City on Tuesday evening as a severe storm swept through central Oklahoma. And the last story I think I have for you guys is Chile volcano is also spewing more ash. This is out to Santiago, Chile. New close-up footage shows the towering ash cloud from Chile's volcano that is disrupting air traffic. Experts warn the rumbling mountain shows no signs of stabilizing. Let me see if there's any more stories here. Oh, here we go. This was the important news story they had breaking. They said that there was an important news story they were holding. An official announcement was going to be made, and now it was made, so I'll read it to you. It says solar cycle announcement has been released. Earth Changes Media Mitch Batros nailed it. And I'll read the whole article because I find that this is important. This was the announcement that they said an important announcement was going to be made, and now this is what they said. It says this will be a brief overview of today's official announcement regarding new information of Solar Cycle 24 and Cycle 25. Additional information coming this week. The official announcement made today speaks of a surprisingly low solar cycle beginning at the end of Solar Cycle 24 and through Solar Cycle 25. This means cold weather is ahead. I do not think it will be such as the mini ice age, but we may very well see record low temperatures. On the second issue, it speaks of a weakening magnetic field and then surprisingly large amounts of charged particles coming from coronal holes on the sun. They made the point of saying the monitoring of sunspot count, solar flares, and CMEs to be held and deciding factors of solar predictability missed the mark. With new instruments, we can now see how the emissions of charged particles, solar winds, plasma clouds coming from coronal holes play a much larger component in predicting space weather. On a third issue, the point was made to not dismiss Solar Cycle 24 as a non-threatening cycle. Because of a weakening the magnetic field and the new information of the effect of coronal hole emissions, this cycle poses a real threat to satellites, power grids, and extreme weather. Okay? So they're pretty much saying that even though the solar cycle last cycle was very low, we shouldn't think that that's going to be a trend. In fact, they say that the current cycle we're in right now may cause a real threat to satellites, power grids, and cause extreme weather. To no surprise, they stopped short of identifying a threat to humans via magnetic flux or radiation. More on this issue coming in upcoming follow-up article. So that's the story, and that was the important news event that they said they were going to talk about. Anyway, guys, that's it for this week in Earth Changes News. I'll check out this tomorrow, see if there's any other news to report on. Thank you for watching, and I'll be putting more information out in the coming days. This has been Earth Changes News for June 16, 2011.
Take a stand, everybody.